Hi everyone, my name is Serena. Welcome back to my channel. I haven't filmed a video in, I think, 7 months. So I basically haven't uploaded anything this year apart from, I think, 2 videos at the beginning of the year. And long story short, things have happened this year that made me lose interest in a lot of things that I love. And that includes books, reading, and booktube. So I really haven't been reading at all. I only read My Heart is a Chainsaw at the beginning of the year for my last vlog that I made, and I finished Take Me Home Tonight. That's the only things that I've read this year. So yeah, not a great reading year, not a great year in general, but for the past 2 weeks, I've been trying to get that back, and I finally finished the book. And I knew, like, if I was going to get back into reading, I had to read this book. Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. When I found out that she had a new book coming out, I said, okay, this is my time to get back into reading. And I picked this book up and I read it. I wasn't sure I was going to love this book because it's about sports, but we'll get back into that. I have to read all of the things that she wrote before Evelyn Hugo. I know that there are a different vibe, they're more romance, but I still want to because I just like her writing. And yeah, she made me enjoy a book about tennis. I really did enjoy this book. I gave it 5 stars. This is a new release. It came out, I think, at the end of August. So it's pretty new. And this book is about a character who was in Malibu Rising, briefly. We don't know much about her. We know that she's a tennis player, that she had a relationship with one of the characters in Malibu Rising. So I wasn't sure that, I was going to like this, because, why do I care about this character, and why do I care about tennis, I'm not a big sports person, but this is so much more than sports. It's about a relationship between a daughter and a father. It's about growing up and accepting failure, accepting who you are outside of your main occupation and hobbies. Sometimes when we concentrate on something, when we think that we're good at something, and then that something doesn't work out, we tend to not feel valued or worthy of anything else. And this is about her finding herself outside of all that. At the beginning of this book, Carrie Soto is a 36 or 37-year-old woman at a tennis match with her father, and there's this new tennis player who is about to break her record. She has been retired for 6 years now, and after seeing this tennis player almost beat her record, she decides to go out of retirement and do one last year of tennis to regain her titles and get even more titles, because she's the oldest tennis player. And then there are a few chapters of her childhood. We see her growing up with her father. Her mom dies at a very young age, and all she knows is tennis because her father used to play tennis, and since she was a baby, the father has been encouraging her to play tennis. Her father always told her that she was going to be the greatest tennis player ever, and she really believed that, and that really made her be a perfectionist for what concerns tennis. And she really has a hard time dealing with failure, and not a lot of people like her. She's a very unlikable character because she's very concentrated on tennis, and she's very competitive. She's not very friendly. She's just concentrated on being the best tennis player ever, and she does become that. After the childhood / growing up as a tennis player chapters, we then have the present day chapters. I was scared I wasn't going to enjoy this sport parts, especially of the book, like the chapters in which we see the matches actually happen, like the US Open, the Australia Open, Wimbledon. I've learned a lot about tennis. Not a lot, but you know, I didn't know anything about tennis before reading this book, which is awesome. I love learning about new things, but I didn't think I was going to like those chapters, but they were really quick. As you might expect, you know, watching a game with your eyes, everything happens really quickly. The book is about much more than that. As I said, it's about a relationship between father and daughter. We see the father realize how she's not actually living her life. She is too concentrated on tennis, and he does kind of feel guilty about that. And there's a lot of miscommunication between them. It's also about women in sports, women of color in sports. She's Latina. And yeah, we see a few chapters, you know, with male tennis players always underestimating the female tennis players because they have less sets in a match or whatever. But yeah, she is not afraid to speak her mind at all. There are a lot of things that I didn't like about her, especially, you know, for what concerns whatever happens in Malibu Rising. The romance was cute. I enjoyed the love interest, and I do recommend this book, especially if you love Taylor Jenkins Reid in general. I recommend trying this book out. I do know that this book is not for everyone. If you do like sports, try this. I've heard a lot of people say that there's too much tennis, or like the character is too unlikable. But if you do like sports, or you do like Taylor Jenkins Reid, I definitely recommend you try this book. I think there are a lot of good quotes in this book. I'm gonna see if I can find any. So as I said, Carrie Soto is a very unlikable character, but there are some things that I found very relatable. For example, here she's talking with her father about this new guy, the love interest, and her father is really encouraging her to open her heart. So she says, "I don't know if there's any future there, and I don't want to make it too much of a thing." And then he responds, "You push it away because it's easier to pretend you don't want it. I was so broken when your mother died that I buried my heart in the earth, and I taught you to do that as well. I thought I was showing you how to move on, but I was showing you how to never open up to anybody." That I really enjoyed this conversation that they had. Yeah, growing up, she only had like one night stands, and she has never been in a relationship, so she doesn't know how to be vulnerable with anyone, and she's afraid to open up to anyone, and I relate to that. There is also this paragraph about grief on page 321 that I really liked. "Grief is like a deep, dark hole. It calls like a siren. Come to me, lose yourself here. And you fight it, and you fight it, and you fight it. But when you finally do succumb and jump down into it, you can't quite believe how deep it is. It feels as if this is how you will live for the rest of your life, falling, terrified and devastated, until you yourself die. But that is the mirage. That is grief's dizzying spell. The fall isn't never ending. It does have a ground floor," etc., etc. I really enjoyed this book. As I said, I give it 5 stars. Right now, I'm reading People We Meet on Vacation. I know that summer is over. I did start this during the summer, but then I stopped and I read this one, Carrie Soto. But I'm like 100 and some pages in, and yeah, I do want to read more and upload more videos again in the near future. So yeah, let me know if anyone is watching this video, and let me know what is a new release that I have to read, like the best book that you read this year. And I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.